Hello, students. I will now discuss the second analysis method, which is usability analysis. So as I said, we will use two analysis methods to find problems in designs so that we can solve them eventually as designers. So the first one was the task analysis method. Now we will talk about the usability analysis method. Now, before we can talk about usability analysis method, what it is, we need to understand what does usability as a word mean. What is usability? So it means the extent to which users, the humans that use the product, can access the functionality, meaning the way the product works of a system or product with effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction to achieve specific goals. So in very simple words, it means when we say to access the functionality of a product or system, it means how easy it is to use this specific product. It can be easy, it can be difficult. Some products you need to read manuals before you can use them. You know, when you buy something complicated, it comes with a book, and inside it tells you everything about the device and how it's supposed to be used, and in case you end up with problems, what to do, and so on. So you have to read a manual. Now, the bigger the manual that you have to read, it means the more complicated the product. Some products you can you can buy them, and immediately, straight away, you know how to use them. So you know straight away how to use them. You don't need to read anything. It's very easy. So usability means how easy it is to use the product. So when you say this product is usable, it's usable. This one is usable. It means it's easy to use. If you say this one is not usable, it means it has some problems and difficulty in knowing how to use it. Okay. Now that we understand the word usability, we can move on to what is usability analysis. So how can we analyze a product's usability? How can we analyze it, if it's usable or not usable, or how much it's usable? Usability, the usability analysis is defined by 5 quality components. It means it uses 5 quality components on which to judge products. They are learnability, efficiency, memorability, errors, comfort, and satisfaction. So these 5 components, they are used to judge the product, how usable it is. So is the product learnable? Is it efficient? How efficient is it? What about the memorability, the errors, comfort while using it? So let's see each one of them, what it is, okay? So what do we mean by learnability? So before I start, so these are used what, again? To judge every product according to its usability. To know how usable they are, you need to use these 5 quality components. Now, why they didn't just leave usability as usability? Okay, I can look at a product and say, okay, is it usable or not? How easy it is to use? Because again, we need to simplify a difficult situation. It's like, okay, if I just look at something and say, okay, decide, is it usable? Is it easy to use? Oh, okay, it's easy to use, not so complicated. This way, I will miss a lot of details. So how do I judge it if it's usable or not? We need to, again, simplify a difficult situation into smaller, more easy, manageable parts. So I will not judge the product, how usable it is straight away. I will divide into 5 quality components. So I will judge it the first time. How learnable is it? Then how efficient is it? Then how memorable is it? Then what about the errors? What about the comfort? So I will judge each one alone. Later, we will see how we can put marks for each one and then put the marks together to see the overall usability of this product. We cannot judge it straight away, okay? Because it's a complex situation. What if you have a really complicated device? How you can say straight away, oh, it's usable or not usable? It's not so simple. You need to have quality components on which to judge every single detail. Then have a way how to put a mark for each. Then you decide the overall usability and specific parts, like maybe the device is perfectly learnable, but it has a problem here, or it has a problem here. So here, in this way, we can find exactly where the design problems lay. When we find where the design problems lay, we are in a better position to solve them. Now, judging overall will not give me details, and I will not be able to solve anything. Okay? So we have these 5 things here that we need to use to judge if a product is usable or not. Okay. Let's say, for example, now we need to explain a little bit more about them so you understand what does it mean. So what is learnability? Okay, let's say we have a device. Okay. I have a device here. Okay, so let's say I brought this device new. I don't know what it is, okay? Okay, now I'm looking at the device. Okay, what does it say here? Milligauss. Oh, what is that? Okay, so this tells me, it says here milligauss. It tells me it has to do something with electromagnetic waves. Okay, this looks dangerous. Then, oh, we see here, do you see what there is? There are lights. So they go from green to red. And here we have colors. They go from green to red. And then I can read here milligauss, 1.5, 2.5, 10, and over 20. Oh, so what does that mean? Well, according to me, what I understand about colors, it means that the green is safe, and the closer I get to the red, there is some problem here. I mean, it gets dangerous. So, and when I look at the Gauss here, the milligauss, sorry, it starts from a small number and it increases. That tells me that the over 20 milligauss is maybe dangerous. Oh dear, okay. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is exploring this device, what it is, what the hell is it, you know, what can it do? Okay, so do I have to read an instruction manual to understand it? Well, it depends. If you don't have an idea what is milligauss and you don't understand what the colors mean, then probably you need to read the instruction manual. What is this used for? Okay, so learnability. How quickly, okay, can I start using this device because I understand it? So the first time I encountered this, I didn't use it before. I don't know what it is, okay? I look at it. So is it easy to understand, to learn what it is? How does it work? How does it function? Okay, so, so this is learnability in a way. If it's too complicated and I have to read a manual to understand its use, then, then it becomes more and more unlearnable, not easy to learn. If I know straight away how to use it, oh, okay, it's pretty learnable, I guess. Okay. Okay, now that I know in general what is this used for, so it's it's measuring electromagnetic waves, okay, in the surrounding, around me, in the environment. Okay, now the efficiency. Once users have learned the design, how quickly can they perform tasks? So I need to perform a task with this one now. What task should I perform? What is its function? Well, it is to measure electromagnetic waves. Okay, so I need to perform a task to measure the electromagnetic waves around me. So I learned the design, I know how to use it. Whether I learned it because it's easy to understand or I learned it because I read the manual, it doesn't matter. It's important that I learned it now, okay? Now we move on to efficiency. So once I learned what it is, this device, how quickly can I do the task? Can I now measure the electromagnetic waves around me? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so I need, I think there should be a button that I should press. You know, that's logical. There should be some button that you will press to start measuring. Well, where is it? Where is the button? Oh, there we can see something. Do you see this? And there is something here that shows me that, okay, going up. Do you see this design here? It's clear indication to go up. So maybe I need to press here. So let me press. Oh, oh my God. Okay. Oh, okay. So now I need to measure the electromagnetic waves. Well, let's see. Oh, that's bad news. Oh my God. That's bad. Oh. That's not good. Okay. So, well, now, in addition to these colors, we have the lights that, start making signal that it's going from green towards red. And when I get close to devices, it kind of jumps towards the red, meaning it goes up. And well, from my understanding as a stupid person, okay, well, you have to consider people don't know about these things. So, so from my understanding is that when it goes to green, it means safe. And the more it goes towards the red, it means it becomes more dangerous. Well, it looks like around me, there is a lot of danger. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So anyway, so this is the button. Okay, now I want to switch it off. Oh, great. So at the same button, I will use 2 times, once to switch it on, once to switch it off. Okay, so I just did what? I performed a task with this device. I switched it on and I moved it around. I put it closer to different devices to test how strong the electromagnetic waves are. Okay. How quickly? Well, it was pretty quickly that I performed the task, so I didn't have any difficulty, I guess, in this phase. So the device is pretty clear. I understood where the on and off button is, everything. Okay, it's fine, I guess, for now. Memorability. What is memorability? So When users return to the design after a period of not using it, how easily can they reestablish proficiency? So it means that, for example, this device, now I understand how to use it, I perform the task, everything is fine, and I put it away. I put it away for, let's say, a month, 2 months, I don't use it, 1 year maybe. And then I try to I take it again and I try to use it again. So when I use it again, what about the memorability? Do I remember how to use it or not? Or did I forget some of the tasks? Did I forget some of the task steps or something about this device? Let's give another example. For example, you study now how to use a computer program. I mean, most of you study Photoshop and Illustrator and these kind of programs. So once the teacher tell you, okay, you use this, for example, in this way, and you learn how to do it. And then you don't practice. You don't practice for a month, 2 months, a year. It's most likely that when you come back to the program after a long period of time, you would have forgotten how to use this feature of the program. So it's not only about devices, it's about applications as well. It's about everything. So after you learn how to use something, when you don't use this, whatever it is, for a long period of time, for a certain period of time, and you come back to it, will you remember how to use it? Or do you again need to read the book or, instruction manuals and so on? So you need to judge each, whatever you're designing, device, application, whatever it is, how memorable is it? How well can you remember how to use it? Errors. What are errors? Mistakes. How many errors do users make? How severe, meaning how big is the error? How severe is the problem? And how easily can they recover from the errors? Now, you need to judge the product. For example, how many mistakes do the users make before they can, use this? So any device, before I can use it, how many mistakes do I keep making? Now, the more complicated the device, the more likely it is that users will make mistakes. So for example, I press the wrong button, or I want to perform a task, but I do it in a wrong way. So how many errors, how many mistakes the user does, and how severe are they? Now, one mistake can be a small mistake and no problem happens. But another mistake can be so severe that it can cause real problems. Like, for example, again, in the computer programs. Now, let's say, for example, you are drawing something on the computer, and then you make a mistake. What do you normally do? There is a way to go back. So go back to the previous step, and you fix the mistake. Okay. So that computer programs are designed so you can go back to previous step and fix your mistake. So they are designed considering this in mind, so you can recover from mistakes. What if, okay, let's say you worked and you did your whatever homework you're doing on the computer program, and you want to save it, okay? Or let's say you forgot to press save. You forgot, and the computer program shuts down, and that's it. All your effort, all the work is lost. Now, to prevent this, applications always ask you. Now, when I have a drawing on my computer and I close it, I press close, okay? it always asks me, do you want to save the document? Do you want to save it? Now, if the designers of this computer program have no idea about usability analysis, they would have forgotten maybe about it. They would have forgotten to put this option. Like if you want to click close by accident, okay, the document, it always asks you, do you want to save it? So you don't forget. So yes, I want to save my document. So to prevent you from doing a mistake, from doing errors, okay? So you need to establish, you're here in this level, you're analyzing the product. You're analyzing basically to find problems in the design, okay? So when we talk about errors, how many mistakes do users do? What kind of mistakes? Are they small mistakes or very severe mistakes? Now, if they are severe mistakes, they need to be solved in your design. If you see that a mistake is a severe one, it can cause damage, you need to solve it. And how easily can they recover from the mistake? You need to decide that. Is it a mistake that you easily can recover from without damage, or that's it, it's a disaster if you make that mistake? Again, every product, every device, every different design has its own problems in these areas, okay? It depends on what you are dealing with, what kind of a device or system. Comfortability and satisfaction, meaning how pleasant it is to use the design. So when you're using this design, are you happy? Are you comfortable while using it? How comfortable, how happy are you? All of these things also you need to decide. This is a big, basically a very important part of usability. If you're happy using a device, it kind of means it's usable in a way, it's easy to understand, it's easy. Now, if all of these are met successfully, then, well, most likely you will be happy using the device. But if you have a lot of problems here, then maybe you will have issues here. Now, the comfortability, if you're comfortable using the device, like it could be learnable, easy to learn, it could be efficient, memorable, not making a lot of errors, but maybe it's not comfortable. It's like, okay, if I put this in my hand, maybe, okay, I know how to use it, I know, but it's not very comfortable, you know, the way it's designed for my grip. So maybe here we have some problems, okay? So a device for the usability analysis, you need to judge according to these 5 quality components, for each one separately. Because as we said, sometimes maybe it has no problems here, but maybe it has problems here in the design that needs to be solved. And we cannot know that in detail, except if we divide a complex situation into small, manageable parts. In this case, we have the 5 quality components. Now, until now, we discussed these as what do they mean? But when I say something is learnable, okay, like I can say, okay, the learnability is perfect. You know, it's totally learnable, it's perfect. But it's not enough just to say it in words. We need to have a number, a mark to put. Like if it's perfect, we need to put excellent mark for it. If it's not perfect, if it's so bad, we need to put a bad mark for it. It's like exactly like how we mark your, you know, your works. When you submit something, we also have criteria points that we use to mark your work. The same thing here happens, but you have to now mark the device, if it's usable or not usable. So, okay, so we have here basically the severity, okay, okay. let me see what we have here to explain it more. Now, the severity ratings, okay? There is a severity rating. We will talk about it just in the next page, but the marking, exactly what mark to put if it's excellent, or what mark to put if it's not so excellent, and so on. I will talk about it in a minute. Just a note before that, because it says here, just to explain to you what it means. So one might decide to go ahead with the release of a product with several usability problems if they are all judged as minor in nature. So one needs to access the market impact of the problem, since certain usability problems can have devastating effect on the popularity of a product. So what do we mean here? So sometimes when you design a product, let's say this is your design, okay? And well, it's not perfect in usability. It has a few usability problems, okay? Meaning in some of these, it didn't score a full mark, okay? It didn't score a good mark, well, a very good mark. And it's still manufactured. So some products, they are still manufactured and sold to the people, even though they have some minor usability issues. That's because depending on what kind of a problem it is, sometimes you can go ahead and manufacture the product, because it will not cause, like, for example, very big danger to the user, okay? But if it causes danger, okay, if it's not minor, if it's a severe usability problem, you cannot manufacture this and sell it to the people. You need, as a designer, to solve this problem. So the more severe the problem, the more it is necessary for you to solve it, because it can cause real problems to the user. And ergonomics is against that. Ergonomics tries to solve, to make things safe, comfortable for the user, okay? So, also, you need to understand that when you produce and sell a product with some problems in it, usability problems, it may affect the popularity of the product. So the people, remember that design, okay? You as a designer, you're designing for the people. Again, I will remind you. So you're designing this, for example, for whom? For millions of users to use. So if you design this in a wrong way, with problems in it, with design problems, it means it will lose its popularity among the users. That means the users will stop buying this. What does it mean as a result? Losing money. The company who hired this designer to design this will lose money, because the people will stop buying it. The people will start buying another scissor, okay, which is better designed, which has fewer problems, fewer usability problems. So you need to be careful about these things. So, because this can have a big effect. It goes beyond the design stage, beyond the idea and solving the problem. And the final goal is for the people to buy and to use this product. So if it has problems and the people discover this while using the product, they will stop buying it. And a lot of money will be lost to the companies. That's about the money, but also the people's safety are at risk. For example, if it's a safety problem, okay? So the severity of a usability problem, you need to always keep these three things in mind. So when you decide, okay, this problem in, for example, this point or this point or this point, there is a problem, okay? you need to, like when you say it's a severe problem, it's a big problem, or if it's a minor problem, you need to decide. How do you decide that? Okay, is this a small problem or a big problem? Well, you will judge it according by keeping in mind these three things. So the problem is the frequency, the impact, the persistence. So if the problem happens frequently, that means many times, okay, then it's a more severe problem. It's a bad problem, okay? Now, then you need to think, okay, it happens a lot of times, but what is the impact? Like, what happens when this problem occurs? Will the person die who's using it? Get injured? What will happen? Okay, so the impact of the problem. If the impact is really like an injury or something like that, then you have a big problem at hand, okay? And the persistence. Does the problem happen one time and that's it only? Or does it keep happening, the same thing, while using this design, this device, this application, this whatever it is, okay? So these three things you need to keep in mind when you decide this problem for this point or this point or this point. How severe is it? Because you need to decide to put a mark for each one of these 5 quality components. So the problem can be judged for additional accuracy by considering the frequency, the impact, and the persistence of these problems. Now, the rating, the mark, okay? The usability analysis internationally uses from 0 to 4 rating scale, okay? 0 to 4. Please don't use another rating scale. Don't use 0 to 10. No, usability analysis has 0 to 4. This is internationally acceptable and we will use that. Now, what does a 0 mean? So if you give, for example, learnability a 0, what does it mean? It means that no problem exists. Here, 0 means no problem, everything is perfect. When you give a 1, okay, it means there is a cosmetic problem, meaning a small problem, small problem. It isn't no dangerous problem, just a small one, okay? Minor usability problem, this is a bigger mistake. Major usability problem, which has 3, okay? This means here we need to really focus on solving. We need to use design to solve this problem because here we will have big problems if we allow this design to continue having this usability problem. And number 4 is usability disaster, catastrophe. Here it means really this is a huge design problem and it must be solved. It must, okay? So you judge your product or system, whatever, using the 5 quality components to find out if it's usable and how much it is usable. Now, maybe for learnability, your device will have 0, no problem. Maybe this one have a 2, maybe this one 4, maybe this one 0, maybe. So for each one of these, if there is a 0, okay, no problem to solve. If you have a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, you need to really focus. You need to explain what is the problem exactly. Then, if it's a higher than 2, you need to really solve it. A 3 and a 4 mark means you have a big problem with a particular component, a particular one of these, okay? So you look at each one of these. If it has a bad mark, like a 3 or a 4, even a 2, okay? You need to find solutions to solve it. In the design, in the new design that you design for it. So, now, if you want to know after that the overall mark, you can put them all together, this plus this plus this, and then divide by 4, and you have an overall mark for the device. Like it can score, for example, a 2 or a 1 or a 3. So you know overall what is the problem? Where does it lay? Is it a perfect device or not perfect? But to solve the design problems, we need to have a mark for each of these components, very clearly decided, very clearly explained why you decide this mark, okay? And then solved. So if I have a very bad mark with 1 or 2 or 3 of these, I need to focus on these to solve them, to solve these problems in the new design. So the overall mark is not so important like the detailed marks for each component, because this is what I will focus on in the design, each of these separately. When you get to the projects that you will do, you will have to do usability analysis as well. And you will have to judge your device, okay? And explain the problems and put the marks and a lot of things, okay? So you need to be very clear about these and these, how to use them. And this rating system, you must, all of you, use the rating system correctly. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about usability testing. This is used in real life to test the usability of a system, for example. So let's say the designer is designing, let's say, a mobile application, okay? But a mobile application. So when you open your mobile, you have so many applications, okay, inside. So I want to design a new mobile application, okay? And I am designing it. Okay, when the user wants to use the application, okay, I switch on the mobile, I open the application, I click on it. Then, for example, I want to use it. What do I do? Task steps, okay? What are the task steps? First, I do this. Second, I do this. Then third, then fourth. For example, let's say I want to send a message. What do? I click on the, okay, a certain place. Then I click somewhere else. Then I write my message. Then I press send. Then, okay, so this, if you're the designer of this, you need to do a task analysis to say step by step, what do you do? Now, I'm designing this application and I have all my steps. For each step, I have a drawing exactly what the screen will look like. Everything's perfect, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the users will understand me. I mean, if the users will understand the application. So I'm doing a usability testing. So I bring in users who never seen this application before, or let's say never seen this device before, and tell them, okay, please use it. Use this, for example, this application. Now send a message. What do you do? Show me. And I show them a paper with, for example, a picture. Like it's not a mobile, not a real mobile, a picture, okay, of what's on the screen. And I tell them, okay, now what do you do? What do you press? The user says, okay, I would press, for example, this. This is on a paper. Okay, I give them a second paper. Now what do you do? The second paper means what happens on the screen after I press the first, okay, button. So, and I test. This is on paper still. I did not put the application into use because I need to test whether the user will understand the design. And if it's a product, now if I'm designing this for the first time, I will not make it functional. It will have the same look, maybe made out of foam, maybe a simple material. It will have the same design here, like a sticker. And I will tell the user, okay, how can you use it? Okay, and I will sit and observe. and make a video or pictures and notes. Notes of all the problems that happen, all the mistakes the user does, everything that is the user is not clear about or doesn't understand, so that I can solve all the usability problems before I design the real thing, before I design the real device and put it out on the market, before I design the real application and put it out for human use, so that I'm sure that it is user-friendly. We used this term before, user-friendly, so that the user is clear about it, understands everything, can use it successfully. So usability testings are done a lot in industry, in the real world, whether designing applications or products or whatever. A usability testing is done to figure out last possible mistakes with these 5 quality components. So usability problems that are a little bit hidden. So as a designer, for example, I think it's perfect what I designed, but you can never be sure. You can never be sure that it's perfect until you test it on users. Maybe for you it's perfect, but if I use it, maybe I don't understand it, or I make many mistakes. So you need to have, usually big companies do like a lot of usability testing with a lot of users. Not just 1 or 2, maybe 100, 200, 300 users from different levels. All of these users are within the target group that I'm designing for, but there are still differences in between, okay? Like if I'm designing for people who are 18 to 60 years old, there is still difference between an 18-year-old and a 60-year-old. And many other things that are different, okay? So I'm testing users from a little bit different categories to see each one, how well they will understand my design. Where are the design usability, design problems that I forgot about? Sometimes a designer gets so preoccupied, like you get preoccupied in your own head that you forget to consider what other people are thinking. So I'm stuck in my head. I need to get out and really know how other people think, because I'm designing for them. I'm not designing for me. I'm a designer, so I'm designing for many other people. So if I don't understand their heads, then, well, my design cannot be successful. Now, the usability testing helps the designer establish any final problems in the design that need modification, improvement. This is the example, for example, that I talked about. What are these? This is a drawing of a mobile, okay? And here everything is drawing. This is drawn to see if, and this picture is shown to users, pictures, okay? And the users say, okay, for example, I will write the number, or I will press this, or I will do this. And then another picture is given. And what do you do now? So step by step, the user is observed of how well can they understand this design before this whatever application is put on a real mobile. It has to be tested with images, with pictures, with drawings. So these are sketches. So this is usability analysis. And as I said, it's very important to be used in any design. It is as important as a task analysis. So these two are very simple analysis methods, the most simple used in ergonomics, but very important, and they can help you a lot to identify any design problems in a device so that you as a designer can possibly solve them. So first you need to identify the problem in the device, then to solve. If you don't identify the problems, you will not solve anything, and you will end up with a bad design. So two very important analysis methods for finding design problems, and you will be using them later in your projects. So understand them very well, okay? And this is it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.